Yo nunca he juzgado a otra madre.
Bitch, I know you. Una, dos, tres.
Welcome to Mommy Podcast.
The number one lying Karen podcast in the
world. Season 2, episode 2.
Yes. Last episode we did our husbands. I hope you guys have seen that and enjoyed it. I just want to say that I am so sorry for the chaos. They just are who they are.
We try to contain them. They're a little difficult.
They're just our men's. They just are who they are.
You know.
But it was nice getting to talk to them. I feel like we kind of got a lot of insight into, where they're at and what they think and stuff. Because I feel como que no habíamos hablado, or maybe like each one of us by ourselves with them, but then them together like bouncing off of each other.
And I don't think, I think like they'll talk and say things to us or to other people, but men are not really the kind to like sit down and reflect.
Yeah.
And us interviewing them had them reflecting like, oh,
for sure.
Well,
did you notice Larry different after that?
No, not after.
No? Okay.
No. Did you?
I feel like maybe not different, but I'm like, you definitely took some pointers or something.
You learned something. I mean, I will say the highlight, if you haven't seen it, you don't really need to see it, except
you need to see it.
That they said we're perfect and as mothers, and so that's all we need.
That's literally all we need. What's a better compliment? So getting into today's topic, we wanted to go over how do I even describe this? So I guess stay-at-home parenting versus going to work parenting, I guess.
Yes, except I think we wanted to focus on like stay-at-home moms and moms that work, and just the issues that come up, the challenges, misunderstandings, like all of that we see. I think it's a very hot topic conversation. For sure. Online and then just in general. And I think we discovered in that last episode with the boys that there is that guilt, and I think that there's definitely a lot of mom guilt that comes in different ways depending on what your situation is, right?
So do you want to start off telling us your working situation?
Sure.
And then I could judge you from over here. We could switch.
So I do work full time. Thankfully, I do have a pretty nice schedule in terms of I work for a school. So I'm, busy school hours, which in the future will be really nice for when my child does go to school. We'll both be in school at the same time.
I never thought that you were going to embarrass Lily so much because she's going to be like... Oh, your mom's the principal.
Your mom
or like
that. Yeah.
Or they're gonna try to bully her and be like, no, a ti no te podemos decir porque le vas a ir a contar a tu mamá. Le van a hacer bullying.
Well, hopefully she talks to me. Because sometimes the faculty children...
That's what I'm saying.
So,
I feel like they go on the opposite end where they want to like prove themselves. So they're even rowdier.
Yeah. So I work Monday through Friday. I work from, like 8 to 4:30 or so. My mom takes care of my baby. So I'm very lucky in that I don't have to take her to a daycare or, like leave her with a stranger or just someone that is not a close family member. Yeah. So my mom watches her, and again, Monday to Friday. And then I do have a lot of events as well that come up, whether it's after school every now and then on the weekends that I have to show up to. So I think like there's also that plays into it that I will say like, well, yeah, I guess that's my situation. I don't know if you want to tell your situation and then we get into the details.
I think that's why it's like a pretty easy conversation for us to have, because I'm on opposite side. So we have our own business, which allows me to be at home. I do still technically work for the business, the company, but it's not like I have to go to some building or like go... and like the 9 to 5 or, I'm not expected to be anywhere by anyone else. So I do have like my little office here. The only different thing for me is that since I do still have to get work done, I do have someone, a close family friend, coming to help me with the baby for a couple of hours every day while I try to do work, you know? I did try it for a couple of months where it was just me trying to do things on computer work with a newborn is impossible. Like for me, I genuinely could not figure it out. I could not like focus for 3 seconds and then over here and then focus another 3 seconds and then like it didn't work for me. So I was like, yeah, if I'm gonna keep my job,
Yeah.
I need help. Like I need at least a couple of hours where I could just like focus on what I need to do. You know what I mean?
So she's coming every day now?
No,
Or
no,
more than
she still comes Tuesday to Thursday, from maybe like 5 hours a day. And honestly, it's such a good like middle ground for me because I still get to spend, full days with the baby. And then, pues, the rest of those days that she does come, I still have him. But it's nice because I could also get out of the house. Like, if I use my time wisely, like, I finish what I need to finish. And then I still could do things like go to get a pedicure.
Errands or go do something for yourself.
Yeah.
And you can count on that time.
Yes.
And you can plan yourself for that time. Okay, the things that I'm doing at home that I can handle with him, I'll do right now. And I know that when I have this help, I'll be able to take care of this, and this.
It's the best thing ever.
Yes, because so then there you have the moms that are like full on stay at home mothers with no other help.
Yeah.
And I think that again, like it sounds so difficult. And I do think that now because of social media, there is a lot more enlightenment about it. There's more people that know and see this hard side of being stay-at-home moms because I think for a long time it's just been assumed that they're just home chilling with the kids and they're having a great time.
Right.
And the dad is out working and like being at home is no big deal.
Yeah. So yeah, for sure. Like I feel like a lot of things on social media have been just I don't even know if it comes from men or like other women that they're like, oh well, you're just at home because people assume like, oh, you're at home, or even before the baby, like I was here at the house and people would just assume like, estás en la casa y estás de okis, like no estás haciendo nada. And yeah, estaba de okis, but
but it's hard.
But it's hard not doing it. Just kidding. No, like you still are doing life. It's just like you're doing life from home. And if I'm being really honest, we had a conversation where Omar was like, okay, you need to stop doing work because like you're going to have to take care of the baby. Not like you have to, but like, we decided that I would be the main caregiver.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's just hire someone to do what you're doing because I do like the admin stuff. And you'll be dedicated full time to Vicente. And I had to set my foot down. Like I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like I cannot, like I needed an anchor into the real world.
Yeah.
Which was the job. Like I'm just like, if this is my 2 hours, even if I have to sit on a computer to have freedom, like freedom, like I need it. Like if it's looking at an Excel spreadsheet for hours, like then I'm gonna take it. But you are not taking this away from me. Like I have to. So sí cierto. I think that I don't know, there's like extremists where they're just like, like women are supposed to be the homemakers and you're supposed to be home and like taking care of your kid and be so fully dedicated to them and like leave your own life to just be with them.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's just like the world that we live in anymore.
No, it's so difficult for so many reasons. So for one, honestly, like financially, like nowadays, it's very difficult for you to sustain a household with a single salary.
It's impossible.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Like the way that it used to be. You have to have a really good position, really well paid job for your family to just, or for your wife or your partner to be at home and take care of kids and have a single salary, actually be the sole provider, like of everything, including her expenses. Like that's just not.
Moms know this. Like daycare alone, how much does freaking daycare cost? Like we're blessed that we have people in our lives who like can help us out and stuff, like your mom, Julia, que viene acá con nosotros. Like thank God. But people who go and take their children to daycare are paying thousands of
Thousands.
dollars. Like,
I spoke to a mom that works with me at school recently, and she said they're essentially paying $4,000 a month for two kids, a
dude,
3-month-old and a 2-year-old,
that
for
is
full time. And she has a school job. So
that
like
is
it
a
works out nicely for
mortgage.
her, right? That she can drop them off at like before 8 and picks them up. She has to like get out of there at 4 and pick them up. Like she can't be any time later because then they get charged additional if it's after hours. That is so much, $1,000 a week.
That's a mortgage on a house. That's
Yeah,
like a
that's
nice
more.
house.
4,000.
That's like you're living in a freaking $700,000 home.
Yeah, like what?
But then that's the thing. So at what point do you like say it's worth it for me to stay home because I'm gonna have to be paying that money? You know what I mean?
Yes. So think about it. If it is $4,000 a month, right? And
You're doing math?
yes, well, we are doing 4,000 times. Oh, ¿por qué lo hizo de más? 12 months that there is. That's $48,000.
That's a salary.
So exactly.
That's a
So if
salary.
I am going to have a part-time job to try and help you out, but I'm going to have to take the babies to daycare.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be paying okay, let's say now they go to part-time daycare, right? Like it's no longer full-time. But
Yeah.
what, even if it's in half, what? I'm going to earn $20,000 so that I can pay $24,000?
Absolutely not. It's so hard. It's so difficult. And also, granted, we are talking about daycares that are like a little more decent. I guess.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
like no es con la vecina que
Yeah,
cuida
like
los 15
exactly.
chiquillos.
There's different options, right? Yes. I mean, there is at home daycares that are like fully taken care of. Like there's
Yeah.
so many programs now that like will help like your local vecina have actually a certificate where like
Shout out.
she had to go take CPR classes and like all the things so that you have more of that safety, but it's still someone that's in their comfort of their home, so they don't have to charge you as much because they themselves don't have to pay a lease
Yeah.
for where
Yeah,
like things
yeah.
like that
The
that
whole
makes
thing, yeah.
sense at a daycare. Like people are getting paid, like there needs to be a profit and all of that.
Yeah.
But it's so much, and it is like financially it is a big question. Like what is the benefit? Like,
Okay,
am I
so-
going to leave my kids and earn enough? And am I that driven professionally that it's worth it?
Yeah.
Or is it better for me to stay at home and ensure that they have the upbringing that I want them to have?
Okay, so now that you have this bomb ass job and you have a bomb ass career, let's say you were like, you had the option of like, should I be home or should I go to work? What would you pick?
I have to work in something.
Yeah.
I think I'm at a point right now where I still want to have a traditional job, but since becoming a mother, my mind did switch to where I now am striving for at some point working myself up to a job where I can be mostly at home.
I just feel like remote jobs now are
So attainable.
accessible. Yeah, like it's after COVID, we all realized like nobody actually needs to be going to a fucking office. Like nobody needs to be driving. Although,
Well, not nobody. There are some people that do not focus, that really need to go,
Me.
really need to be checked on. Like, as someone that manages people, some people need to come in and be forced to like focus and get their job done.
Fair.
So, yes, but we did realize that there's a lot of jobs that can be done
Yeah.
from home. And if you hire the right
1000%.
person, there's no reason they need to spend $60 a week to commute.
Yeah.
And like all of the things that involve going into a place just so that you can sit down and do the same work that you can be doing at home.
yeah, for sure. I think that would be for sure a good like for
But
you.
yeah, like before I never did. Because I am someone that enjoys leadership and like being involved. I always thought like, okay, more and more. And then how can I be a director of a program and like do
She's
these
gonna be
things?
president.
And like, I would still love to do that. I want to be a business owner at some point. I keep going back and forth on like what that means. But I also know that like being in a business, it means like every day you're tied to it. But I'm like, can I work myself to a position where I'm part owner? I have partnerships so that
Yeah.
I'm not there all the time, right? Like now I think way more about, can I be a boss and have my cake too. By being able to stay at
Yeah.
home when I need to stay at home, go to my kids' things when I need to go, and like have that flexibility that before I didn't think about as much. And I think something, well, I don't know if I was telling you or if it was Claudia, but one thing, getting into the weeds of what comes with being a working mom and things that I think about and that I struggle with is also, I am definitely someone that if I can, I'll go above and beyond. I am not the nitpicky, because I work with people who will be like, well, is there a stipend for that? Or do we get paid more?
Or that's not in my job
like, do we
description.
get after hours? Like,
Yeah.
if I come to the event, will I be able to do this? Will I, like, and great. Okay. Like, I understand that people should get paid for like doing things extra
Yeah.
and whatnot. But the reality is that it's also like, the world doesn't always work that way. And when you are someone that works in education or in the nonprofit world or things like that, and if you are someone for the community, you understand that sometimes you just have to step up and just do
handle,
the work,
yeah.
right? Like handle, and like there's just expectations, and hopefully you are passionate enough that you see the benefit of, you know, staying and helping an extra hour, because it's a parent teacher conference and the parent can only come at 7,
Right.
but conferences ended at 6. Like, I'm just gonna stay and make it work because it makes sense. But other people will say like, nope, I'm done at 6. I have to,
yeah.
Anyway, I got a little bit carried away there, but I am the kind that will be like, oh, okay. But since having the baby, I definitely have a more defined boundary of what I can and can't do. And a lot of it comes from guilt, because to be honest, I do have the family, the support that I need to be able to go above and beyond in my job.
Right. To like keep doing that.
Yeah, to keep doing that. And my mom will be like, that's fine. Like, if I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm supposed to get out at 4, but I'm going to stay a little longer so that I can finish this thing, which I do, but it's very minimal now. Like, now I think about my time and I'm like, when that bell rings at 4:03 and I kick all the kids out of this building by 4:10, I am jumping in my car and I am going to pick up my baby, because my baby has been with my mom all day.
Yeah.
And one, I understand my mom's been taking care of a baby and she needs relief. And two, I feel the guilt of like, she's already been with someone all day. I'll figure it out tomorrow. Instead of staying the extra 45 minutes to get my work done, I'm like, I'll just figure it out later when she goes to bed or something like that. Or I'll just be like, do I really need to do it, or can I just skip this thing?
Or hand it off to someone else.
And now I just give my 100% during the time that I'm at school, but I don't go that much farther, whereas before I did.
It's just your priorities change.
Yeah.
Because your priority now is spending time with your daughter, who like you said, you don't see for most of the day. And it just is what it is. Yeah. But at the same time, yo creo que, well, this could actually be another topic, like employers, you know, I think it's really important when you are a working mom to find someone who's going to actually understand, you know, that you have to do this, or like leave earlier.
It's true.
Or
I mean,
whatever,
I guess like that's
a
topic. I do think there are places that are for moms and there are places that are not for working moms.
And also, is it fair to
Unfortunately, it's not fair, but I do think that you will find spaces where you feel more welcomed and accommodated,
1000%.
Because there's flexibility for it, and there's other places that are just rigid, and you're gonna have to truly be a different persona when you show up to that space.
So you're saying though, like, your number one thing is guilt of like
my number one thing with that is it is guilt of feeling of.
Does it make you feel selfish
extra
at all?
time? Yes. If I do stay and do more for work, I'm like, But
I mean, just being a working parent at all, does it make you feel selfish?
No, not in general.
Okay.
In general,
like,
no.
because you know,
in
like,
general,
I have to handle.
No, and I think part of it comes with my personality, right? Like, I am a very, like, independent, professionally driven woman, and also having a girl, I know I want to teach her to do that, and so I think I need to be the example of that.
So you don't buy into like you need to be at home making food, homemaker.
Oh no, I never feel guilt about that.
Like la casa necesita estar limpia. What are you doing?
That I do not feel guilt about that. If anything, is like my own, like, oh, like, I need the house to be clean and this
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that,
yeah.
but I never feel like
It's your
oh, I
role.
shouldn't be working. Like I feel, because I definitely do see women that have that conversation.
1000%.
Like, oh, by me being working full time and I don't have enough time to get home and like cook and do
Well,
and
let's talk about
whatnot.
this real quick. The expectation of some parejas to do that. Like, I think this is a part that bothers me more than anything.
Oh,
It's like,
yes.
okay, yo también le estoy chingando en el trabajo. Yeah, I'm still expected to come home, cook you a full meal,
Yes.
do all the laundry, have the house clean, take care of our children while you just sit there and
Yeah.
chillax. And it's like,
Yes.
no, I'm making the same money as you are. So, like, you make me a meal.
Listen, this is me. Like, I am the one that does all that stuff at home, but Larry's very relaxed about it
It's
because
not an
we would
expectation.
fight if that was an expectation.
Yeah.
If Larry got home and I was like, I got out late, I didn't have enough time to come and cook before you showed up,
Yeah.
or if he was like, the food needs to be ready before
¿Dónde
I show up
está?
or
Yeah.
anything like that, God, like, we would throw hands. So, but I do see that with
Yeah.
other people.
Yeah, I think
Where it's almost like, well, if you're not going to be able to make that time for your house, maybe you shouldn't be working that job.
right. So it's like maybe then you should step the fuck up and make another extra 30 racks so then we don't have to
I
have this
don't have to-
conversation.
Yeah.
TikTok that.
Seriously. So,
No, pero iba a decir, I think it's really messed up when, because I feel like right now some moms are like on the extremists. Like some of them are like, F them kids, déjenlos con los daycares. Like we have all these things available to
Yeah.
us. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And then I feel like on the other end of that are the moms who are like, you are not a true woman or a real woman if you're not at home taking care of your kids, making them homemade meals, not feeding them chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's on the opposite end of that. And I don't know. It's so sad and also like, que huevos.
I'm trying to think if I know you do. I'm trying to think if I know anyone
Who
that
gives their kids chicken nuggets?
No.
Yeah.
It's someone that starts with an A and ends with a
Ina?
Lina. No, that has given up their career since becoming a mother. I don't think I have anyone close to me.
See, and that's the other thing that I think about it now and I'm like, that's where like it's more of, I guess, just guilt. Motherhood is just guilt on top of guilt with a side of guilt. It's like, should I be doing like putting my life on pause just while they're so small? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in these like formative years. Y luego, yeah, you could go back to your normal sense of self and stuff, but
I think you have to do what works for you
Yeah.
and what calls to you. I don't think there's a right or wrong. Everyone's situation is different, and what fulfills me doesn't fulfill you,
Yeah,
and what fulfills you doesn't fulfill me. And so yeah, like there's some people that literally who is it? Was it freaking la ex de Kanye West? ¿Cómo se llama?
Kim?
La vieja con la pintura hasta por acá. What's her name?
Juliet.
Julia Fox.
Julia
Fox.
not Juliet.
Did you see that viral TikTok where she just, I think they're using the sound where it's like, I hate going to work. Doesn't everybody hate going to work? Like I'd rather be home and be scrolling and whatever. And there's legitimately
Yeah.
like, yes, I would like to be financially stable to do whatever I want all the time, but not really. I genuinely believe that if I won the lottery, I would still have a job.
1000.
Like I'm
because
just
that's not who you are as a
there's
person.
some
Yeah.
people that just
Yeah.
enjoy working, like
Yeah.
not necessarily, like it's stressful and whatnot, but I like to feel like I'm
Useful.
learning, I'm using
Yeah.
my skills. Like the job that I have, I love being a resource to other people. Like I actually, that makes me feel fulfilled. And I genuinely know people who hate working, who would literally want
Be
to
in
win
bed
the
all day.
lottery and do nothing.
Yeah.
Like literally, even not even say like, oh, travel and like literally nothing. Like would love to be home,
Scrolling
chill,
TikTok
a donde
30
quieran
hours.
ir, comprar. Like that's their dream. I would not.
Yeah, no, that would drive me freaking crazy. That's why when we had this conversation of like, hey, are you gonna do this? I was like, no, I need a stimulation to my
Yeah.
brain.
So
Like,
it's not one way.
I
It
can't
just
be a
depends
vegetable.
on you. But I will say, but I do also think, again, as we touched on at the beginning, there's also this time that we live in right? And I
Yeah.
do a lot of times definitely feel judgment from older women.
Oh my God.
Whether they say it or not, like I just kind of feel like in their mind they're like, oh my
¿Y
God, like
todavía
you
estás
continue to
trabajando?
prioritize your job.
Yeah.
Right? Like again, like when there are times where my mom already took care of the baby Monday to Friday, and on a Saturday I have an event or it's graduation and I'm staying until 10 p.m. after
Yeah.
everything gets done, and like, you know, where to other people it's like, oh, and like the baby's still at your mom's, like things that
It's
I'm
been
like,
yeah.
listen, I do need to work. I do provide for my family. I don't pay my mom as much as I should pay her in terms of like comparing it to daycare. She doesn't have a daycare
You give her love.
salary, but
And
I do pay her.
and appreciation.
I'm like, but I do pay her, and I do like that is one of my goals right now, is like I do want to continue to have more pay. And what I think about all the time is like, what else can I do that is a little side hustle or
The side
whatnot
hustles.
to pay my mom enough to where what I give her is sustainable. Because right now it's just something that helps her out, but it's not just, oh, it's taken over a whole salary, and I would love to do that.
But see, I mean,
Yeah.
just to be appreciative, which she's not going to ask you for that
No,
ever in her entire
but
life.
I do want it to be
Yeah.
to that point where I'm like, okay, like she's loving being a grandma and she's getting her money's worth
I
for her
think
love.
estas viejitas, not the money equals love. Yo creo que estas viejitas no entienden porque back in the day no era igual.
No.
¿Cómo vas a comparar tú allá en tu rancho?
Ooh, yes. Let's talk about this. The
Like-
other thing that I've been seeing a lot, and trauma of all the older siblings that had to take care of their younger siblings.
Let's talk about, we're getting into the oldest daughter syndrome.
Well, yes, but I've also, and there's the oldest daughter syndrome, which like I think regardless if you are an older daughter, that is it comes with that like responsibility compass, you just experience it. But also like back in the day, literally that is kind of how they survive. Like
Yeah.
all of our grandmas I think have stories, and like my parents' friends of like taking care of their younger
Yeah.
siblings, and their mom was at home all day.
Yeah.
But what? She was cleaning and cooking and like
There were
taking
too
care of
many
her man for
responsibilities.
when they
Yeah.
would arrive. So then the older siblings are
Would
the
take
ones
care
that
of
were
the
like
younger
watching them
ones.
and taking them and walking them here and like playing with them outside. And like there's so much, honestly, so many conversations and stories of trauma that come with that. And I'm like, yeah, well, y'all don't give your kids the props and respect for like
No.
how they helped you manage freaking 12 kids at a
Also,
time.
when we say kids, like they literally were kids, like 5-year-old
Literally.
kids taking care of 3-year-old kids, 2-year-old kids. And if you really like genuinely think about a 5-year-old that you know right now, like I wouldn't trust a 5-year-old to go outside by
No,
itself,
me
let alone
either.
with my
God.
1-year-old. Like, están locos.
7 years old, a 9-year-old was considered like,
Mis
oh my
tías,
God,
my
a much
tía
older
Olivia,
kid.
que en paz descanse, my tía Guadalupe are the eldest, and they literally have stories of how they would like bathe them and have to change them for school and get them ready, and like andaban en chinga, and like eran los que los traía ahí. And it's like,
So yes, there were other times, yes, you all had more kids, but you all don't realize how much help it was for your kid. Well, you all, debería de ser en español porque más que nada son las señoras de
Más
rancho que
señoras
tenían
mexicanas.
de 5 a más niños. Y ahora dicen, ay, con 1, con 2 no aguantan,
aguantan.
pero ustedes estaban en la casa todo el día y los niños de 9, 10 años cuidando a los de 2 años.
sí. Y luego todavía se enojan que porque no vienen a las fiestas y porque no les hablan. Y porque... That was mean, but I'm serious.
God.
Es que la verdad como que no captan el trauma que le causaron estos pobres a nuestros papás.
In our next episode,
We will have
un
all
llamado a todos los que están traumados por cuidar a sus hermanos.
Oh my God. Se pasa. No, pero es que
no.
la verdad antes sí era muy diferente en cuidar o en ser ama de casa y no tener que trabajar. Porque allá en el rancho tú cuando conoces de una pareja que, él trabajaba y ella también.
Yeah.
No, él trabajaba y ella en la casa con los 15 hijos. Es que también antes se pasaban, ¿cómo se les ocurre tener tanto lepe? Like, that's a lot.
I cannot imagine.
That's crazy.
That is so
Haciendo
crazy.
tortillas a mano. No. Ahorita vas al Costco, las Las agarras pre-made.
Listen, no. Es demasiado.
Oh my God. Okay, so what do you think is harder? Stay at home or work?
I think they're both hard.
They are. Honestly, they are.
They're
Because
both
I know a
hard.
lot of people judge me for being home and not doing anything, but not doing anything is difficult.
It's
Being with your
difficult.
fucking kid 24 hours a day is not for the weak. And
It
you
is
have to
not.
like
It is
it
not.
is hard. It is hard being with your child 24/7. It's
It's exhausting.
it's the responsibility. It's
yeah.
exhausting. It's like your brain does not get to turn off at any point in time because it's like you need to make sure that they're alive, which
Yes.
Vicente just started walking and
Ooh, yes.
oh yeah, Billy también,
Estoy
they're
bien
walking.
cansada, la verdad. I know. Literally from 4, well, like from 5 to 8 until she's like getting sleepy, she's just like nonstop.
Dude. Pues
Paz,
imagínate el
se
otro
cae. Paz, se pega en la cabeza. Like, I'm just
Todo
like,
el
girl,
santo
chill.
día.
Play with something. Stop hitting your head.
No quieren. It's like,
God.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It is a lot.
those are our 2 seconds about that. To finish off, I wanted to do a little hot topic that I saw, and I'm sure you've seen it too. You just forgot it, and I haven't told Karen about it because I wanted to get her reaction. But there was a TikTok, of course, that I saw of a woman that was like, we need to start normalizing sending money with the parents
No.
who are. Did you see
Is
this?
this what I'm
Yeah,
thinking?
where she's like our kids are on a play date and your kid comes to my house and I am now asking you for money because she flushed. And then she had a list that she sent this mom and it was like, flush the toilet 3 times, used the Sharpie once, total of $15.38 or whatever, which she said that the mom she did reach out to the mom. And I'm guessing that the mom was like, this bitch is fucking crazy. Ten tus pinches $15. Don't ever fucking contact me again.
Yeah.
And so she did send her the money or whatever. But I just wanted to see what you thought about that. Should we start normalizing?
No. No, it is not normal. You are crazy. You are crazy. You are, ¿cómo se dice? Eres una fijada.
Period.
Like, I
Coda.
cannot believe this. Like, ya me imagino yo.
Dude, you owe me
Oye,
so
el
much.
Vicente come.
Bro, I would be broke. I would be broke by the end of his first grade year in school. I literally would be on the streets if I
No.
was sending money. Also,
No, not me. Like, por favor, mándame $104. Tuve que comprar a new grocery set because no.
me gasté $23 en el Sprouts más la gasolina. No, yo la verdad ya están hasta
No,
la madre.
I
Ya
did
no hay
see
ni
it.
qué hacer.
It's so bad.
So bad.
Ay,
Is
que
this
no,
a
me da
cultural
pena
thing?
ajena.
Is this a just this lady thing? Is this
I mean, there was a lot of, I did see,
Is
the
this
way that I saw it was because of a repost and
Yeah.
someone was saying like, I understand. You know what I would understand? I understand if it was like an activity that cost a lot and you both kind of planned it. Like if it was like
I'm taking the kids to the Denver Museum and then out
yeah,
to dinner
no,
or
like if you're
something.
taking out the kids, I would probably offer to give you money, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're like, oh, with que
Vamos a ir al zoológico,
we're gonna go
yeah.
to the zoo, I would be like, okay, here's her entrance, or like here's so that she can buy some snacks.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like I would probably tell you like, no, like we'll take them, assuming
Yeah.
that some other day you'll take them, and that's fine, and we'll just call it that. But at least like offer that up, right? Like that's one thing. But even at a play, you know, like a play day at home, I'm trying to think if we were to do like, oh, we're going to be painting like ceramic things and I'm gonna go drop them off so that they can you know, like whatever you do when you develop the paint and ceramics, I already forgot. But let's say like it cost extra, like it's a full-on activity that I brought to my home and it's like now I had to buy like clay and paints and like all these things. Okay, maybe if it was something that you knew both of the kids really wanted to do and I was like, oh,
No.
we're doing an activity at
You
home,
chose
like
to do that. Put on Miss Rachel y cállese.
that's what I'm thinking too. Pero todavía, like, that's a situation where I'd be like, okay, maybe she was expecting, you know, like, you're gonna give me $20 because you know I went to buy all these crazy supplies. I don't know. But me being like, oh my God, I can't even imagine me
I would
outside
punch you
the
in the
door.
face.
Hold on, me outside the door. Vicente ya le bajó 2 veces al baño.
Mijo.
Boy, if you don't get out right now, your mom is racking up $20 right now because you flushed twice. Like, no manches.
Mijo, va al baño otra vez.
It's so bad. This is so ridiculous. And there was something else besides flushing. I can't remember. There
It
was
like
another
washed her hands or something. The audacity.
was breathing really hard. Like, no matches.
I think she even put
Oh,
like
God.
the AC was turned. The Netflix subscription. They watched 3
I just
episodes.
feel embarrassed. How did she not feel embarrassed asking for that?
Look, you guys, I think that this is such a bigger problem just with humanity. It's like we have gotten so far away from community, like
Yes.
as a whole, like as a
Yes.
society, as just people. I think we are just like going into this weird social media planet where we think that like our friends and our interactions and stuff are just on this little device, and it's like, no, like we are human beings that need to
Not
take
even
care of
that,
each
that
other.
everything's transactional.
Pues por eso that's what I'm saying. Like we are human beings that need to take care of each other, that like you need to be neighborly. Like yes, not every neighbor is going to be friendly or whatever, but like you know, like it's okay to like have a kid over to play with your child. Like
I literally dream of being like, Ade, la película de Inside Out 35 salió. I'm gonna go pick up Vicente. Like, I'm gonna take the kids to the movies.
Dude.
I'm gonna take them here. Like,
yes.
I just can't imagine.
I'm already planning all of the like vacations we're gonna do,
heck?
and it's just I need us all to do better because that was insanity.
That was
I
could
thought it
not
was like a
believe that was
parody
real.
thing or something. And I'm like, no, she's serious. And also, shout out to the mom that just sent her the money instead of like, you know, doing what we all thought, which was like, I'm gonna beat this. Like,
No, I would give her the money and be like, don't talk to me
ever
again.
talk to me again. Do not like little Timmy
Your kid
could
can
go,
talk to my kid
yeah,
in
like, no.
public. We will not be visiting you. You
It's
will not be coming
crazy.
over.
But then also I think of my mom always being like never letting me go spend the night at everyone's house, and I'm like, thank God, because these people are crazy. Ya me imagino que alguien le hubiera dicho a Betty que
Girl,
le
I'm
mandara.
scared about that. I don't know how I'm gonna manage that.
We're not. I'm gonna do what my mom did. Vicente's not allowed to go anywhere as of
I
today.
don't know.
But anyway,
hard.
that was the hot topic.
I cannot
just
believe that.
I was shook and embarrassed for her, and like como tú dijiste, vergüenza ajena. Like that's just
Like, if you really are in such a financial hardship, don't invite my kid over.
Period.
Don't accept to have them over. Like, I would rather you be like, you know what? Like, no, I can't have them today.
Yeah.
Then like charge me for the air that they breathe.
It's insanity. It's insanity. Oh, it reminds me of that video. I think I sent it to Bailey because she never lets me take her to the airport. And this guy was like, or this, I think it was a girl, and she was just saying like, we are so, everything is so transactional now that nothing is like just doing a favor. Like, yes, ask me to take you to the airport. It's fine. Like, we're friends. Like, I'm going to ask you one day, or like, it's
Yeah.
okay to ask for favors as long as they're not like ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
But like, what happened to us just like being neighborly and being friendly and like helping each other out? It's like, what is going on?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's insane. If anybody ever asks me for money for Vicente, I don't even know what I'm doing. Don't ever do that to me. Ever. Ever.
That just sounds, oh God.
Y que nos falta por vivir.
I feel offended for that mom.
Shout out, mom. You did the right thing by sending your little $15 and
Vámonos.
yeah. Imagine
Yeah.
the conversation between her and her husband or her partner that day. Like I don't even know what I would do.
I don't know. But I'm glad that story then went online. That was the perfect way to hit it back.
But also, what was she expecting when she posted that? For people to agree with her?
Oh, the one that posted was the one that showed why she asked. I thought it was the mom that got asked. But no, it was,
No.
I forgot about that. You're right. It was the one
Yeah.
that was like, well, the reason, blah, blah,
She
blah.
thought that
She really thought she was doing
she
something.
thought she ate.
She really did.
She
really
thought she
was
like
doing
handled
something.
that. And she just got roasted by the internet. I guess that fue su
Yes.
castigo.
Oh, God.
Of having millions just roast you.
Well, I guess this is where we're ending this episode.
Yes.
I wanted to say, let us know if you are in Denver or if you know us, anyone in particular that you'd like us to invite.
Ooh.
Because season 2 is all about having
Guests.
guests. We'll have our one-on-ones, but we want to do a guest at least like every other episode.
Yeah.
We will definitely have some of our friends on here, but we also wanted to venture into trying to host some professionals as well.
Ooh.
So,
Send
yeah.
your professional. Are you a professional?
Are you a professional that wants to discuss
Send me
a
a
topic
text
with
at
millennial mummies?
720. Beep, 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 beep. And that was it, I guess.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next
On the
time.
next one. Bye.